Voltaire said, "Every man is a creature of the age in which he lives, and few are able to raise themselves above the ideas of the time." Plato said, "Wise men speak because they have something to say, fools because they have to say something." George Bernard Shaw thought that the reasonable man adapts himself to the world. The unreasonable one persists in trying to adapt the world to himself. Therefore, all progress depends on the unreasonable man. This is Whiskey Hell. Think critically. Act accordingly.
This is Whiskey Hell. Saturday, September 14th, 7:28 in the evening. Fitz and I are here to bring you the news from this past week. Fitz, when you look at this past week, what's a really good word for it?
Just one?
Yeah, let's just limit it to one. Mine is going to be, well, shit show's 2 words.
It can be one. It can be one if you hyphenate it. It's technically one word.
I'm gonna hyphenate with shit show. Shit hyphen show.
Okay.
Lisa says fucktacular. I like that one.
Fucktacular. That's a great word. You know, I learned a new swearing term. It's a Scottish. It's very Scottish. It's violent. And it's like after you say it just everybody knows what the fuck you're talking about. But the term is Jesus suffering fuck. I think once you say that in a conversation, everyone's like, okay, that's pretty bad. So this week,
I really like that one. Can we hyphenate the hell out of that one and make it?
Yeah. Well, I was thinking about it. I'm gonna just say my word of the week is deception.
Yes,
deception. I'm not even sure which side's deceiving more or more often.
It really was one of those weeks where if you're on one particular side or the other, you came out with a loss. It really was.
Yeah.
Aaron has fuck show or fuck a row. Or row, fuck a row. I like fuck a row. Yeah. This was not a good week for anybody.
No.
And it's not that everything sucked. It was actually, I found it from the sociological aspect, especially. I found it fascinating, and we'll get into why that is later. But some of the news, you definitely had deception, like you were saying. You had blatant, what I would call election interference from a major news network.
Absolutely. Again, through more deception.
Through deception.
These little subtleties that we weren't supposed to catch.
Right.
Yeah.
And you know what the worst part is, and maybe this is just because our listeners are way smarter than like the average person. I'm just going to say that right now.
Of course.
And I think
it goes without saying, but
I think we're all we can see the Matrix, right? We know how this stuff works. We get it. So it's really easy to call this stuff out when we see it. But it was kind of insulting. It was so easy to see this week.
Yeah.
So even the level of deception is just really we're not even trying at this point.
Yeah.
So
it's Bush League. It's Bush League level stuff, and yet we're all supposed to gasp. Oh my! I can't believe it. And it's like, yeah, that would like our kindergartner would catch that.
So we've got a lot to get into. We're gonna try and blow through what happened in the debate because it was an absolute train wreck for both parties. Period. It even evolved into what we're calling, I guess, Catgate or Petgate. I don't know which one's better there. And our chat is absolutely representing because we've got Catatouille in chat. Faylene Mignon as well in chat. So Lisa and Aaron are in there. Buttercup, Joe Bonnick, Justin, and L are all in chat. Subterfuge, that's another good word. Absolutely.
Yeah. Yep.
But yeah, lots to talk about this week. We're going to get into a few things that we didn't get into last week. We have hot off the press Taylor Swift news. Got to get into that. Oh my gosh. What's Travis Kelce
doing now?
Yeah, exactly.
Sorry.
What's Taylor doing this week? When are we going to get the actual story that Travis Kelce's gay? That has to happen. There has to be a narrative that's going to come out soon.
Dude, seriously, what is going on with his wardrobe, his outfit, his look,
his Gucci outfit?
Dude, he used to be like this bearded fucking Viking guy that you don't want to meet in a dark alley or on a lit battlefield for that matter. And now I look at him and he's a fucking joke. And he's wearing like stuff from that pedo company. I'm just like, what the hell happened, dude? You can't. First of all, you know what happened. Taylor Swift happened. Okay, he got a female in his life. Okay, but if you're that weak, you let a woman dress you. You let a woman influence your style. You let a woman, put out what your vibe is going to be. That's fucking mentally weak, dude. That's really disappointing. And I'm not saying I was a huge Travis Kelce fan or anything, but from what he used to be and used to put out there, which was some level, some version of masculinity, to that, unbelievable.
Well, you have to appreciate, though, the attempt to bring the 80s hot dog on a stick back with the pedo stash.
For sure.
It's a really nice outfit. I think that hat, it makes me want to go out and buy hot dogs. I'm sure he bought a lot of hot dogs. It's very, very
Inspector Gadget.
Oh my God! Look at this guy. Anyway, not to Billy. It almost looks.
And
like
are those lederhosen?
I was just gonna say it looks like he's wearing lederhosen.
Did we call it last week that lederhosen are coming back?
He's bringing lederhosen back.
Oh God, damn! Look
up
fucking
Travis
scab.
Kelce and Taylor Swift at the U.S. Open. You'll get everything that you need out of that. On that note, let's get the hell off that topic because he's fucking ridiculous. What are you drinking?
It's a beer.
Sweet.
I don't know. I'm being cryptically silent right now because I don't know who the brewer is. This is one. Okay. I'll set it up and you'll know exactly where this is going. Okay.
Okay.
My wife picked this one up at Trader Joe's.
Oh, okay.
So Trader Joe's is not, for those of you who don't know, they're not a brewer themselves, but they pick up other brewers' beers and then slap their own. They have like Trader Jose's, Mexican lager. They have. So I don't know who the brewer is. I just know it's from Trader Joe's, and I'm going to be guessing the style of the beer. And then we'll go from there. And I'm just now pouring it because I'm a slacker, and I had the whole walk-up song to do this, and I didn't. I pulled up the lyrics of the song on Spotify because there's some that I can't catch because he talks pretty fast there. So I was reading lyrics. Okay, everyone. So just cool down, cool off.
The walk-up song was good. It was Fall Out Boy's "We Didn't Start the Fire." So it was a 2023 version of Billy Joel's epic song.
Yeah. Yeah, and so all the lyrics are different, and yeah, it's great. It's really fun. But I was reading. So all right, here we go. Beer is poured. Right. Solid head on this thing. Solid head.
Okay. What color?
Definite girlfriend material. Like a dark gold. So a little on the brown side of honey.
Okay.
I mean,
Okay.
depending on which honey you get, it can be this color, but it's a dark brown golden. And the head is kind of white, yellowish white, and it's a healthy head. Let's see what we got. Oh, this has to be like a German. It's a German, like a Doppelbock or a Dunkelweiss or something like that. Mm. Oh yeah, heavy malt. A little hoppy. I would guess in the 49 to 59 IBUs range. So not super hoppy, but it's there. Really caramely, malty,
Okay.
earthy flavors. So that's why I'm saying it's got to be in that, an Oktoberfest, a Dunkelweiss,
Yeah, it's got
something
to
in
be,
that.
especially the time of the year. It's got to be a
Yeah.
Dunkelweiss, Maybach,
Oh, a
or yeah,
Maybach
like
could
you were
be. Yeah.
saying. Yeah, it's got to be one of those.
All right, let's see what we got. I'm gonna unsheath. I'm unsheathing everybody. Okay, this is their Joseph Brow. It doesn't really have the style here. 7.2%. Um, I guess Joseph Brow is their brewery. It's their Dunkelweizen. That's about it is. It's their Dunkel.
So it's actually Joe's.
Yeah, I
It's
guess
actually
they're
Trader
brewing now.
Joe's then.
Yeah. Okay.
Huh.
I did not know they were doing their own shit. So forget everything I said earlier. I'm a moron. They've they've
Is it this
upped
one?
their game. They're brewing their own shit. Hold on, let me get on your screen. Yes, that's exactly it.
Okay. Okay.
But it
Okay.
doesn't
Cool.
but it doesn't say Dunkelweizen on it. It's like a non and it's in a can.
They just give
So
up on the. Yeah, we're
yeah,
not gonna. All
yeah.
right.
Labels are too much
Advertisements
work.
overrating.
Yeah.
So, well, how is it? Is it good?
Good. Oh, good beer. Yeah, good beer. Definitely. Um, especially for this time of year. We this week we had some rain. It cooled things off around here. Fall's definitely in the air. It was like 73 today, but the mornings are crisp. The other morning I drove to work and it was foggy. So we're definitely headed into fall here. So this is perfect for this time of year. Great beer. Very good. Well done.
All right.
What are you drinking?
Well, so I have another one of the Rare Beer Club beers that I wanted to get into tonight. So this is from Baron Brassier.
You okay?
This is a cuvée de Jonquier. Bottle was created in the spring of 1990 when the undergrowth was adorned with yellow flowers. The entire Evanois countryside was contained therein. This is a Belgian, I'd call it more of a French farmhouse.
Okay.
And yeah, it's a beer de garde. That's what it is. So it's a 7%er, a little bit high for a beer like that, but pours a nice yellow. Actually, it's actually kind of a orange, kind of interesting. Good head stays around it. I had it poured for probably about 5 minutes or so to let it warm up a little bit.
Okay.
Definitely some citrus, a little bitter, flowery though.
Mm.
Ooh, yeah. Take this out in the sun and enjoy yourself.
Nice.
Little bitter, but very drinkable. Spicy, but clean.
Yeah, I would imagine. I'd
Very
imagine
nice.
something that flowery would just kind of, be there, give you some essence, and then be gone.
Yep. The whole point of that specific beer, we haven't had very many of them on the show, but this was like the beer that you'd have you come in from the fields, you need to hydrate. Well, you have one of these. It wasn't like when you're on the farm in the Belgian countryside or in France, you wouldn't necessarily go out and have like you're coming in for lunch, you're going to grab one of these. That's really what it is. But they're usually around 4.2, 4.3, somewhere around there. This is pretty high, so we'll see how that goes. But it's good. I like it. Definitely a summer beer. The Rare Beer Club, I think I'm a big fan of it. And again, thank you for getting it. But I'm a big fan of this. It's been a very, very fun, very, very enjoyable experience.
I just like the huge wide array of stuff you've been getting. And it's stuff that you wouldn't, I mean, you can't find all the time, so it's like, it's truly rare.
Yeah. It's way too exotic. Everything is, not everything is imported, but it's very, very hard to find. You're going to get batches of 100 or 200 actually beers that were not, probably more than that, but, you're not going to get a lot of these styles out in the wild. So, and they're very, it's a very limited release too.
Yeah, it's definitely small batch stuff. Yeah.
All right, so we're gonna have a Hefe sighting in about 15 minutes. I think we have time to go ahead and knock out at least the very beginning of the debate. Should we go in to dive into that?
Oh, sure.
All right, so the debate was this last Tuesday, and quite frankly, both parties completely lost. Trump did a shitty job. Kamala was a fucking train wreck. ABC was absolutely complicit in making sure that this was a one-sided debate. It was 3-on-1. I'm surprised Trump did as well as he really did, even though I still feel like he came out looking like an idiot a lot of the time.
Yeah.
But I think at the end of the day, what was really, really bad about this was that ABC fact-checked Trump. They never fact-checked Kamala. It was very clear that by her answers, she was just way too on point. Way too on point. She hasn't been this on point in interviews. She hasn't been this on point when she's speaking. She didn't do anything goofy. By the way, she had just a regular political voice. There was no urban. It wasn't Southern.
Cackle.
She didn't cackle. She didn't do any of the carbon copy things that she usually does, right? None of those things happened. So I'm not sure who she was relating to that night, or she was just trying to speak to, the general American people and forgetting about everybody that, she basically changes voices for. It was really, really a sad debate to watch. And I thank you for, our chat, listeners who watched it along with me, but I think everybody can attest that it was just absolutely a terrible thing to watch. One of the moderators, it was Lindsay David. She's one of her sorority sisters. So with Kamala.
She's Kamala's bestie. Yeah.
The president of ABC News is a huge donor for Kamala and a best friend. And now we've got this ABC. Well, before we get into the questions, let's go ahead and show some examples of the fact checking that happened.
She didn't do her job. The question was about you as president, not about former Speaker Pelosi. But I do want Vice President Harris to respond here.
Nancy Pelosi was responsible. She didn't do her job.
The question was about you as president, not about former Speaker Pelosi. But I do want Vice President Harris to respond here.
I was at the Capitol on January 6th. I was the vice president-elect. I was also an acting senator. I was there. And on that day, the president of the United States incited a violent mob to attack our nation's capital, to desecrate our nation's capital. On that day, 140 law enforcement officers were injured, and some died. And understand, the former president has been indicted and impeached for exactly that reason. But this is not an isolated situation. Let's remember Charlottesville, where there was a mob of people carrying tiki torches, spewing anti-Semitic hate. And what did the president then at the time say? There were fine people on each side. Let's remember that when it came to the Proud Boys, a militia, the former president said, stand back and stand by. So for everyone watching who remembers what January 6th was, I say we don't have to go back. Let's not go back. We're not going back. It's time to turn the page. And if that was a bridge too far for you, well, there is a place in our campaign for you to stand for country, to stand for our democracy, to stand for rule of law, and to end the chaos, and to end the approach that is about attacking the foundations of our democracy because you don't like the outcome. And be clear on that point. Donald Trump, the candidate, has said in this election there will be a bloodbath if this and the outcome of this election is not to his liking. Let's turn the page on this. Let's not go back. Let's chart a course for the future and not go backwards to the past.
All right, so that was 2 minutes and 17 seconds. Okay, now throughout the whole debate, David Muir or Lindsey Davis would jump in and say, and correct him and stop whatever point he had, and then try and go and say, yeah, this was debunked, this isn't accurate, this is a lie. This is their approach. But in that 2 minutes and 15 seconds, Trump says Pelosi is responsible for security at the Capitol. This is true. David Muir intervenes and on behalf of Kamala and cut him off. Kamala says that she was at the Capitol on J 6th. She was not there. She was there in the morning, but she was not there in the afternoon. Kamala says Trump incited a mob to attack the Capitol. False. Didn't happen. Kamala says that some police officers died on January 6th. What the fuck? No fact check. No police officers died. Kamala recites the Charlottesville fine people hoax. This has been debunked repeatedly. Kamala recites the stand back and stand by hoax. That was debunked. That's a lie. Kamala recites the bloodbath hoax. That was debunked. That's a lie as well. None of these things got fact checked, and that was just in 2 minutes. Okay? And that was a big 2 minutes.
I love how, and she did this throughout, but how she was like, she brought up all this old shit, everything that we know has been debunked. She brought up all this old stuff, and she's like, but we're not going to go back. We're not even going to. We're turning the page. We're not going to go back. You just brought us back there, you fucking moron. If you're not going to go back there, then don't bring it up. If you're wanting to move forward and bury the old hatchet, then bury it. I mean, just by talking about it, you're bringing it back up. She did that throughout. She's like, hey, remember all this stuff? But hey, we're not going to talk about that. We're going to talk about some other stuff now. It just repeatedly contradicting herself and sort of doing the passive aggressive, it's that whole thing. Like, don't think about a white elephant. And then everybody's thinking about a white elephant. It's like, as soon as you bring it up, it's in the consciousness of people. Terrible.
Fitz, if you were asked a question about that, would you have been able to rail off those 7 points?
Which, about all the past stuff? No.
Well, and it's in a rebuttal, right?
Right. Again, it sounded very much like, hey, when this is brought up, you have these points that you're going to make. Yeah. Yep.
And your opponent on the stage here tonight often asks his supporters, are you better off than you were 4 years ago? When it comes to the economy, do you believe Americans are better off than they were 4 years ago?
So I was raised as a middle-class kid. And I am actually the only person on this stage who has a plan that is about lifting up the middle class and working people of America. I believe in the ambition, the aspirations, the dreams of the American people. And that is why I imagine and have actually a plan to build what I call an opportunity economy. Because here's the thing. We know that we have a shortage of homes and housing, and the cost of housing is too expensive for far too many people. We know that young families need support to raise their children, and I intend on extending a tax cut for those families of $6,000, which is the largest child tax credit that we have given in a long time, so that those young families can afford to buy a crib, buy a car seat, buy clothes for their children. My passion, one of them, is small businesses. My mother raised my sister and me, but there was a woman who helped raise us. We call her our second mother. She was a small business owner. I love our small businesses. My plan is to give a $50,000 tax deduction to startup small businesses, knowing they are part of the backbone of America's economy.
Okay, so this goes on for another probably about another minute or so. So we're about a minute and 30 in. This goes on for another minute. She never actually gets to the actual point. She never even asks the question, are you better off than 4 years ago? Why? Because
she was never
absolutely
stopped
does not.
for it.
And she was not stopped for it.
Yeah.
She was not stopped for it. She didn't answer the question. They didn't speak up and say, hey, you should have stopped. You should have, hey, what's going on here?
Why aren't you
that
answering
never
the question?
happens. So this happened the whole night. And ABC, I'm hoping in the next couple of days that it comes out, because we've already seen rumors, and I'll get into the dissidents that actually took place this week, what I really want to get to, because this is interesting. I'm hoping within the next couple of days it comes out that ABC actually gave her the notes up front. Now, allegedly...
I was going to say, that story did come out. Sort of this week. There was a whistleblower who came forward and said she was absolutely given, quote unquote, mock questions that were almost verbatim, almost word for word, what was going to be presented on stage. So she did get them ahead of time. Now, tinfoil hats out, but that individual who came forward, that whistleblower, died in a car accident on the 13th, the day after that they came forward with that information. Now, look, car accidents happen, people. But come on. Again, like you were talking about, McShane, it's like the deception is so out there in front of us and so simple. Like, of course that person would be dead now. Jack Ruby got shot because he knew shit. Oswald got shot first by Jack Ruby, and then Jack Ruby died. I mean, if you kill everybody who knew anything, then the knowledge disappears. It's gone.
It's kind of like Clinton them, then, right? I mean, it's just the Clinton. Yeah, it's how Clintons do it. That's
how they do it. That's the family way. So unbelievable. When I saw that they died in a car crash, and of course authorities are adamant that it was just a car crash. There was no foul play in the act at all, and that's fine. You guys can come out as officials and say that, because you have to say that. But what the fuck? All of us thinking folks are here going, come on, really?
So to that point, and to carry that forward, we commented on a post by Vote Harris Out. This is Philip Anderson on X. He was talking about how Kamala might have gotten the questions in advance. And if you listen to her, like we were saying, throughout the debate, she sounds way too smart. It was awkwardly smart for her. She never sounds that put together. She didn't sound drunk when she was answering things, especially when it was right up front. And then when she turns around, most of her rebuttals were completely off. Okay. So on this post, now my point is the dissonance that comes after what we said. He posted that there is a good possibility that there's an affidavit and there's a whistleblower, and that ABC passed the notes on to her. All we said was, sounds like election interference by ABC, which that's what it sounds like. There's nothing else to it, right?
Right.
So this tweet blew up, 634,000 views. It was commented on 434 times by various people on X, reposted 478 times, liked 8.5 thousand times, and bookmarked 58 times. So I would call this viral. That's not my point. We're not tooting our own horn here. This is to say that, okay, that's something, a very basic comment, like sounds like election interference by ABC, drew some of the most awful, inflammatory comments insane at times. And we've said this on the show. Liberals can't handle this. Anything that has any kind of thought, any kind of logic, they just can't wrap their head around it. And I was just absolutely shocked that this is some of the stuff that we were getting. Sounds like you're the kind of idiot that believes people are eating dogs and cats. That's a whole other thing that we're going to get into. Completely emotional response, right? Hopefully the Republicans sue ABC and Disney. No problem with that. She's knowingly participated. It is definitely election interference. Let's see here. Sounds like cats and dogs story. Biggest election interference came straight from the DNC. Okay, that's a whole nother story there. But it just goes on. Of course, you believe this bullshit. It's not surprising Trump has the psychophont followers. He does. When there's so many uneducated, gullible motherfuckers out there, you're an idiot.
Yeah, sycophant is how you pronounce that word, and
Sycophant,
it means it means that you're sucking off the teat of whoever it is that's around, and it's not even worth like replying to that person.
Oh no!
What was very evident, once you put that one tweet out there, and then what tweet? What are they? A post now? Once you put that post, and then I came in and just backed it up a little bit. And again, I wasn't trying to sound pro-Trump. I was trying to sound anti-ABC. But everyone assumed I was pro-Trump. And then I was like, look, if you think that you aren't being influenced one way or the other, that this goes for both sides. If you don't think that they are actively trying to make you hate the other side, then you're part of the fucking problem. And I'm talking, I guess, to some of our listeners right now, because in the sense that I think most of you can vote for Trump and support Trump and also not hate your neighbors that are Democrats, and also not hate your kid's teacher who might be a Democrat, unless they, of course, try and, get them a sex change without your knowledge, whatever. My point is, you can vote however you want to vote. It doesn't mean that you have to hate the other side. It just means that you believe in the philosophies, the tenets of what someone else is saying. And that's been lost. It's now this is full out war. And again, the keyboard warrior syndrome is alive and well.
Oh, it's huge.
None of these people would say this to your face.
No.
Well, most of them wouldn't. And the ones that would get a fucking slap across the face because you don't talk to people like that. But when you're behind a keyboard and you're anonymous or semi-anonymous, here you go. This is the shit show to go with your word of the week. This is the shit show you get.
So 484 comments, which again, it's not about the numbers for us. It's about the psychological mess that's going on out here. And there was a lot of MAGA, total Trump. Exactly. You've got, if you look at the names, pro America, MAGA, all this kind of stuff, which is fine, whatever. But they're just how you can look at the debate and think for an instance that this individual, Kamala, had any kind of intelligence without a huge crutch. It just goes to show that this is a they don't think critically. They don't. It's all emotional, and it's just completely ridiculous. Now, this other bullshit, the whole cat gate. This is something that's absolutely blown up into, and I think honestly, when it went out, and Vance picked it up and said, "Yeah, we probably got people eating cats in Springfield, Ohio." There was.
No, you're good.
Is that Hefe?
It's Hefe.
Do we have a Hefe?
We do have a Hefe. Okay.
Holy shit.
Hefe, has anybody been eating cats at the casino tonight? Or dogs?
We have Friday night crab legs.
Ooh.
So that's a yes.
Yikes. Well, do you guys name them beforehand? Because the actual, it has to be named in order for it to be a pet.
I don't get that close. I just see the lines and smell it. That's about as close as I get to the crabs. So
okay. Justin wants to know if you have any Haitian employees that might be suspect.
Probably.
Ooh, okay. Keep an eye on them.
Yeah, I am. Oh, fuck you. I am.
So
Keep
did
it
you
in a
guys?
journal.
So I'm not buying this, but the memes that are coming out from this, and Trump bid on this hard, and it made him sound really, really dumb in the debate. Really dumb.
It did.
We've got some stuff that you guys can listen to or go ahead and click on in show notes. Way too long to post, but at the end of the day, it comes down to, unless you start seeing actual police evidence, unless you start seeing something more than just hearsay and weird stuff posted online, it's just fantastical.
I saw a video of, it was supposed to be video proof of this person roasting a dog.
And it was like a lamb or something.
Well, yeah, it's clearly not a dog, first of all. Second of all, it is odd that you're just, spit roasting a fucking animal in your backyard. So I give you that. And look, if as a neighborhood, I started talking to all my neighbors, and we're noticing that about 2 weeks after the Haitian family moved in 5 doors down, all of our cats started going missing. Yeah, I mean, there's some circumstantial evidence there, but like McShane's saying, until I call the police and the police come out and do some investigation and find a bunch of cat teeth in their backyard or something, like right now, it's just hearsay. It's just a rumor, and it's just speculation. And I'm not saying it's wrong. We can't say that either. I mean, we don't have enough evidence for either side of it. But what I'm saying is, you can't bite on something and just run with it, unless it's for a joke. I absolutely am enjoying the memes. Once again, the internet wins. Fucking amazing. I mean, just look at our chat tonight and everybody who's here and the names that they came up with. It's fabulously funny, and I love it, and I'm here for it. But let's not take hearsay.
And this is not to disregard the other impacts, right? The other economical impacts. You've got massive numbers of immigrants coming in, completely changing the whole area, defecating, taking over neighborhoods. You've got 60,000 residents, and you go ahead and you stick 20,000 Haitians into this area. There's going to be some massive problems. This does not excuse any of the other stuff that's going along with it. This is only dealing with just the Catgate stuff.
Well, so and that was my final point. Was we have big enough real problems we need to be worrying about than they may or may not be eating cats. And I'm not dismissing that either. I'm just saying the real actual things we can point to, the real evidence that's out there, it's a big fucking deal. Yeah.
Now, I do want to, we can jump off of this topic real quick, but I do want to leave us with this absolute gem. This is the Trump soundbite taken on to TikTok and absolutely blown up.
In Springfield, they're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats. They're eating the pets of the people that live there. They're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats. They're eating the pets of the people that live there.
People of Springfield, please don't eat my cats. Why would you do that? Eat something else. People of Springfield, please don't eat my dog. Here's a catalog of other things to eat.
They're eating the dogs.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
They're eating the cats.
Meow, 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 meow.
They're eating the pets of the people that live there. They're eating the dogs.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
They're eating the cats.
Meow, 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 meow.
They're eating the pets of the people that live there. They're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats. They're eating the dogs.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
They're eating the cats.
Meow, 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 meow.
They're eating the pets of the people that live.
You know, we all grew up with Sarah McLachlan and Eyes of the Angel playing.
Yes,
and
we
I
did.
can't think of anything more beautiful than that song. So go to show notes. You guys can check it out. And that was just amazing.
Yeah, I told
go ahead, Hefe.
I told my my ex's sister today. I said, "Hey, do you want to see something really funny and get a song stuck in your head at the same time? Here, watch this. So good.
So funny." Perfect. And there's been a couple of techno versions that came out. There's somebody who turned that into a like fucking death metal, speed metal song. I mean,
really?
That guy, yeah. First of all, that guy is 10 times more talented than Taylor Swift. Second of all, his shit's blowing up because the concept was just amazing, and so people are just running with it. It's again, God. Internet wins.
Yep.
You know, when you talk about the finding evidence of cats in the backyard, I actually eat, when I eat stray cats, I eat the teeth because it gets rid of evidence and it's delicious and nutritious.
Well, I heard it really cleans out the insides. Yeah.
Oh God, yeah. Oh
God, that's fantastic. Hefe, while you're here, I wanted to have a really quick discussion, let you guys know about a really good dad moment. We got some dads out there listening right now. So my youngest, his girlfriend, ex-girlfriend now, broke up with him yesterday morning, and he was kind of taken back, but he told me about it, and it was really good. We're driving over.
Stay strong, man. Stay strong.
Yeah. No, he was, and I'm proud of him for it. But I told him, you know what, there's a lot of girls out there, and you're super young. You don't have to worry about this stuff. He's 18. You got a lot of relationships and a lot of life.
Oh yeah,
right.
It's a big C.
But and Hefe, you tell me if this is going to work for your kids, because you should totally take it. But this is what I played for him, so that he kind of put love into perspective.
A special night is our last show, that I thought it was appropriate to do a love song. I wrote this about this girl that I met about 5 years ago. I was going to come out with some money, I'm trying to live out here for a while, and I met this girl and I wanted to impress her, so we went through all my cash in about a year. Then one day she said, Sam, there's something missing from our relationship. I said, well, it wouldn't be the cash by any chance, would it, honey? She said, no, we found so many special things about each other. I hate to see it all go to waste because the passion's gone. She says, can't we still see each other once in a while and have lunch or see a movie or just to be friends? I said, yeah, friends. I think I know what you mean. I become some kind of emotional tampon that you need 4 or 5 days a month. But no one else will take your fucking bullshit. But we don't fuck. Isn't that about right, honey? That's what friends is. We don't fuck, right? She said, well, yeah, that's kind of it. I wrote her this song. It goes like this. You fucking whore! You used me! You never loved me! I hope you slide under a gas truck and taste your own fucking blood! Die! 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 I want my records back! I want my fucking records back! I appreciate you coming out, Hollywood! I love you! Good night!
So how did I do? parenting.
Fantastic. First of all, you evoked the spirit of Sam Kinison, so already a fucking giant W. Second of all, that's a brilliant piece. I remember seeing that years ago, and it's just so solidly Sam Kinison. I mean, first of all, I don't think before I saw that clip, I'm not sure I knew he could play the piano. Yeah. Come to find out, he could play like 6 or 7 instruments. The dude was just so wildly creative. I don't understand how one individual gets all the talent and then there's me. Like I got nothing. I didn't get dick. What the fuck? He took it all. Anyway, huge fan of Sam's, and well played, Dad. Well played.
Right. Yeah, I felt really good about it. So yeah. So interesting times at the McShane household. It's been a very, very interesting weekend. But
I remember the first time I got dumped, and I remember like it was yesterday. It was actually my sister's wedding was a couple days later, and her husband to be saw that I was not right, and he came up and asked me what's wrong, and I said, girlfriend just broke up with me. He's like, oh, you're gonna date tons of women, don't worry about it. And I was like, no, you don't understand. This was the one. And here we are 2 years later. I gotta tell you guys real quick about these 2 tables I just had.
Yeah.
Before I go.
Shoot. Yeah.
Just got this golf group here, a lot of young guys, and this guy sat down with his girlfriend, and he looked young. She looked really young. So I carded them both. He was like 23. Looked at her ID. September 10th.
Oh, really?
2003.
Holy shit.
Yep. I was like, wow.
God.
First I said, hey, nice birthday. I share the same one. And I looked again. I was like, my God, you just turned 21. What? Wow. And then the next table is an older lady playing. And
did you card her too?
Huh? No, yeah. She asked me, she's like, are you new here or do you just work at night? Because I usually play during the day. So I've probably never seen you before. I was like, yeah, I work at night. I've been here a while. And she goes, oh, yeah, I can't come at night. I need my sleep. I need my naps, when you get older. And I kind of laughed and nodded. And I started to say,
How old are you?
Well, I started to say you're getting there, but I meant it as you're not old. But it started to come out as you're getting there, and I realized how awful that sounded. And so I just said, you're, and that was it. It just hung there. It just hung there like that.
You're not old.
I'm sure she went home and was like, I wonder what he was going to finish that with.
I wonder if he likes me. I'm gonna go ahead and get some more naps during the day and go back and talk to that young man.
I mean, how old would you guess she was?
Late 60s, 70 maybe.
So totally within your ballpark.
Our parents' age. Yeah. Oh, totally.
She have a walker or anything, or?
I don't think so. No.
Dude, you know what okay, this is a random thought I had the other day in the shower. Walkers are like, they're actually, and listen, I'm almost 50.
No.
So hold on. Stick with me here, boys. I was thinking how convenient a walker will be, because you can literally, you have, first of all, you're stable on any ground, right? I mean, ice, whatever. But also, it's like an instant, like, you could make it into a glory hole. You could bend someone over on it. You could, I mean, it's just like this
day at an assisted living place, dude. This is so not good.
Hey, vagina is vagina. It doesn't matter if it's,
it certainly
18 years old. 18 years old. I'm going to be very careful here. 18 years old or, 98 years old. Vagina is vagina.
Hey, and it might have closed up quite a bit and might be really great.
The tightening. I've heard that happens in like your 70s.
I think they lied to you.
I don't know where I heard that, but I did hear it.
Hefe, you got a farm report coming up, or what's
I do.
your next?
I
You
do.
All right.
Excellent.
All right.
Excellent.
Probably be an hour 20, but it might be 40. It might be 40. We'll see.
All right. Well, you hustle your little self back here. All right.
All right. We'll see you in a bit.
Later, man.
All right. Friends of the show. Friends of the show in chat. Sits to pee. Brad, welcome. Stands to pee. Die. Welcome to you too.
Perfect.
Oh my God. All right. The last point I think we have to get knocked out as far as the debate goes was that absolute shit show, right? We know this. But right at the end, like timed perfectly, Taylor Swift.
Oh yeah.
Takes Kamala as her champion. Now,
Which I don't. Why was this? Was she up in the air? Like, did any of us have any questions in our head?
No. Well, what you got to remember though, right? So she would not endorse anybody. And they were actually, this is how the media works. They set this up earlier in the day. You had Politico stories, Newsweek, and I think there was one from Variety that dropped the same morning as this that said, Taylor she's not going to endorse anybody. She hasn't endorsed anybody yet. This isn't going to happen. She's not political. She's going to stay out of this one. That was the whole point of those articles that dropped that morning. So that when it came out that night, it was going to be this massive revelation and this absolute, oh my gosh. And the whole plan, at least from my skeptic point of view, was to deflect any of the bullshit that came from that debate. So they were going to change the whole story, drop Taylor's taking her on as her little champion. I'm going to keep saying that because that's what it is. But it was timed exactly as the debate ended.
Yep.
So it was just absolutely ridiculous. Now, she has 284,000 followers.
No, million.
I'm sorry, 284 million followers, yes. Now, taking into account that some of those are going to be worldwide, yes, we get it, that it doesn't say
and some of them
American
are bots.
Instagrams. Oh, I'm sure they are.
Yeah.
She only forced 337,826 clicks to vote.gov. That was not a good payoff as far as driving the vote, at least from Instagram. So something to keep in mind.
And you got to wonder too, like of those 347,000 that were driven to vote.gov, you got to imagine some of them were like, that was hate fucking, right? I mean, they went there so that they could, Taylor Swift is going to back her. Fuck that. I'm registering and I'm voting for Trump. So it might have even actually backfired a little bit on her. And
they've already come out and said that it has. It absolutely has. It absolutely did.
Here's the fucking point of the whole debate. Redacted, which I occasionally listen to, and I find both of them very intelligent, and they definitely do their research. But they always, they'll put out a poll on X, and they were like, "Who do you think won the debate tonight? Trump or Kamala?" And I was like, I didn't even answer the poll. I just commented. I'm like, we all lost, guys.
We all lost.
Everybody fucking lost tonight. We lost. Neither one of them won. We all lost. We are all losers. We are literally becoming more and more of a laughing stock for other first world countries around the world. And I think even some third world countries are looking at us going, maybe I don't want to be there. Cause it's God, this is such a lose-lose situation. It was back in 2016 as well. And then we get to 2020 and it's like, so we're on election number 3 where it's a lose-lose. I mean, say what you want about Obama. I don't like the man as a person. He was actually a pretty terrible president when you take into account how many fucking foreigners that he killed. But
war criminal.
But yeah, right. War criminal up and down. And, his Secretary of State was Hillary Clinton. So, but at the end of the day, I could go to bed. I could lay my head down on the pillow and say, well, in some ways, at least the rest of the world respects us. I can go to bed and at least know that they're fearing shit that's going down, and that if a world leader were to show up at the White House tonight, Obama has it handled, right? He could talk to him. He could politician the shit out of it, and we'd be okay. I don't feel that anymore.
No.
I don't.
No.
I have zero confidence in any of our leaders right now.
No.
None.
We're not respected. We're not respected. We're not feared. Not that you necessarily want us to be feared. I just want us to be respected, right? We don't. You can't look at any of our leaders and know that, well, they're going to go walk into a meeting with Xi or Putin or any of these other jokers and be able to go ahead and go toe to toe. You can't. They can't even do that in their own country. I mean, Jesus, we've got here. Okay, let's all right. Let's see, where is it? We have this doc is so here we go. All right. This is Harrison Biden walking into a firehouse in New York. Now, mind you, they're going to walk in. It's dead silent. And then all of a sudden, guess who walks in as soon as you hear cheering? It's not those two. It's actually Trump.
I mean, people are sitting at a table and hardly anyone's even turning to look at him.
There he is.
Whether you like it or not, he's a man of the people.
Yep.
He is.
And
he is.
minus
and
his
the people
face.
love him.
Minus his face, he's looking better these days. I don't know if they got him on like a diet and he's been working out, or just maybe just a diet and like get him off the booze or something. I don't know, but I mean, he doesn't look like he could run a marathon.
He doesn't
That's
look
not
81
what I'm saying.
or 80 or whatever.
But no,
he doesn't look that
but
old.
and the way he's walking, the way he's carrying himself, he actually looks like, I mean, in a scrap, I think he could take Xi Jinping. I do. He's a little man.
As long as the bodyguards
Trump's
are out of the
huge. Yeah, right. I'm just saying, mano y mano.
So here's this is interesting. I want to go ahead and play this. This is Biden and an interaction he had with a gentleman.
Oh my God, this was so fucking weird.
This doesn't make any sense at all. Okay,
None.
So Biden's at this Salute for Heroes. I'm not sure where this was. So Biden's wearing his own hat and he's talking to this Trump supporter, and everybody around in this whole audience, like, you would almost think that this was AI or something. Like, this was weird.
This is like blue collar America. And also this is the first sighting we've seen of Biden in like 10 days. Right. I mean, he was in Vermont or wherever the fuck for 10 days. And so we have not seen him. He's not made any public statements. We saw him at that firehouse thing that McShane just played, and then this happens. And it's like,
now,
what is happening?
Listen to the conversation between this big dude, just average Joe, grizzly looking guy. Looks like me, only he's got hair.
Fucking plumber.
Here he is.
Trump hat, I'll give you my presidential hat. Presidential seal on it. You want to autograph it? Oh, sure, I'll autograph it. Huh? Yeah. You remember your name? I don't remember my name. I'm slow. You're old part. You're an old part. Yeah, I know, man. I'm an old guy. And you're an old part, right? I know you would know about that. What? About being old. Oh, I know. All right. I'm a young timer. It reminds me of the guys I grew up with. There was always one in the neighborhood. Well, I'm the only one. There you go, man. I need that hat. You want my autograph? Hell no. You know mine, man. Come on. I ain't going that far. Yeah. You said you would do a selfie. There you go.
So you can't see it, but Joe signs the presidential hat, okay, which has no election material on it. It is just a president's hat with a presidential seal. And then Joe goes ahead and puts it on his head. So he's wearing a Trump 2024 hat. Now, later, he's getting onto Air Force One, and he's holding the same hat. He's carrying it with him.
He's carrying it, yeah. That was odd too.
That was really odd. So now, conspiracy theorists that we are, was Joe sending a message, or was he just, did he forget? Well, I just got this hat. I want to carry it with me because this guy gave it to me in wherever the hell they are, Rockville. I don't know what this was, but it was very, very strange.
Well, I will say this was probably one of the more human moments we've seen from Biden in a long time. I mean,
that might have been his best moment.
Yeah, I liked the moment for him, for the country. I still have a major question with why do we put a guy in a very sharp black and white suit, and then allow him to wear a baseball cap into a? I mean, either you're going for casual. Again, going back to Obama, he was the pro at this. He'd come in his white button-down shirt, but the top button would be unbuttoned, the sleeves would be rolled up, and then he'd throw on a ball cap, and he'd be like, "Holy shit, he fucking looks good." He pulled that off. But you don't keep a full fucking suit on and then throw a baseball cap on and be like, "Hey, I'm one of the people." Like, that's like lipstick on a pig. That's that same concept. And so I don't know why that's happening. But other than that, I thought the whole moment was genuine. It was real.
Yeah.
It was downright adorable. That Biden was willing to get in there and kind of tussle with this guy verbally.
Yeah, I mean, I want if my grandfather with dementia, I would have loved it. He was, had this kind of gumption when he was going downhill.
Hell yeah, hell yeah. So I don't know. I at the end of it, it's always that. Well, yeah, but he is ruining the country. Yeah, I know he is. I get it, but this moment was genuine, and I can appreciate it for that. He's also a terrible president.
It truly was, and I wonder. I just have to wonder if he's totally done with the Democratic Party and how he is treated.
Yeah,
because if he does have any kind of semblance of sobriety there, not sobriety, that's a poor word. Togetherness, whatever you want to call it. Clarity. Yeah. Clarity.
Mental acuity. Yeah.
Because it was when he got onto the plane, he had the same damn hat. That it sticks out. It really does. All right. It's one. Let's see. It's almost time for beer 2. You want to get into it? Yeah. Beer lucidity is a good one.
Lucidity is a good one. Silent lucidity.
Queen's Reich. We're going Queen's Reich tonight,
dude. What were they like? That was their only one hit, right? That was their one hit wonder.
They had a couple. There was one other. You know what? I'll play Queen's Reich between songs. That's good.
Perfect. I have no idea why we got here or how, but here we are. I will say
Silent Lucidity, Jet City Woman, and Empire. Empire was my favorite.
Yeah, I don't remember Empire. I remember Jet City Woman. Quiet Lucidity, when I was learning how to play guitar, that was one of the ones that I still don't know how to play it well, but it was like, if I could play that, I will have the ladies just wet and melting for me. And I never quite mastered it. So, here we are. But yeah, I love that song. I actually do.
All right. Well, let's go and get into beer 2, and we'll play Silent Lucidity between sets. So we'll be back with you guys in about 5 minutes or so. All right, Fitz, let's go ahead and get into beer 2. So I did a little bit of homework. This one's on Timber Ales. And I cannot begin to tell you how disappointed I am in them, because there is absolutely no website for these bastards, and you can't look up their beers. Very, very frustrating. So
yeah, I hate that.
I don't have that. It's just silly. It's just silly. When I looked it up, there's no website there. So this is actually Chasing Darkness. It is an imperial stout conditioned on vanilla and coffee. So I would wonder what the term conditioned on actually means, but it is a 12%er. And my hope is that it's a straight up imperial stout. One thing that's concerning, though, is that when you look at the, and I'll post this to chat. Let's take a picture here real quick. Right. And the guy who's running in the darkness has only one leg. So I don't know if he's like a paraplegic runner or something. That's kind of cool. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I think that's great. But it was definitely, I don't know. It's just a weird beer. I don't know what's going on with it. So let me go and take a drink here. Ooh. Viscous. Super viscous. Lots of vanilla. Very much almost get it like a coconut type flavor to it.
Oh, okay.
Interesting. Soft, very much a decadent beer though. This is definitely a dessert beer. I'm not going to say it's a wonderful beer. It has a little bit of a burn at the end, but it's good. I'm not going to complain about it too much, but that's what I have here.
Okay.
What do you got?
I can dig it. Well, this is an offering from Hubbard's Cave, which when I went on a search for their website, it's I don't know what the Une Anne. I'm pronouncing that wrong. It's UNEANNE with a little what's that thing on the top called?
Anyway.
Schwa. Okay. ANNE. Yeah. So I don't know if that's like the name of the actual pub house, and then Hubbard's Cave is the name of the brewery. I don't know. Either way, it's kind of a shit website because they just kind of show what's coming up on their,
right,
in their actual physical location, and not that much about the beer, which, for me in this show, I care about the beer. They're in Grosse Pointe, which is, in Michigan, suburb of Detroit. Famous movie, Grosse Pointe Blank, made there. Anyway, this offering is called the El Zacaton. This is a 12%er imperial stout, fermented on toasted oak with almond flour, cocoa powder, cinnamon sticks, vanilla beans, ancho chilies, guajillo chilies, and habanero chilies. So this is a dessert beer with a kick in the balls afterwards, which if you're into that kind of, BDSM kind of stuff, this might be your ninja. And what I mean by that is you're sneaking in the night. You don't really see it coming until it slits your throat kind of person. So it poured jet black, zero fucking head on this thing, dude. It's like,
ooh,
I'm looking
down
on the glass, and there's no head. So it's just like looking into a black hole here. This is the black hole. Then. Yeah. It's just liquid fucking ferrofluid. You know what I mean? Like just anyway. So let's take a sip.
Beautiful. So what Une Anne? It's actually, let's see, what does it mean? Did we mention Jerry did an architecture abroad in Versailles, France? Une Anne, meaning 1 year in French. These guys are actually a Belgian brewer, which is pretty freaking rad. And I've had a lot of Hubbard's Caves beers. they're a fantastic brewery. So this one, I'm really interested to see how this one pans out for you.
Well, that makes sense that they're Belgian. I don't know why they did this fucking thing. This thing is it's a fucking monster. And I mean that in the best possible way. This thing is lurking in the shadows until you get into bed and you tuck in. But then you get warm, so you stick your foot out just to cool off a little bit, and it's the thing under the bed that grabs your fucking foot.
Oh boy. Like in a good way?
In a good way. It's a great, you want it to grab you because it's taking you to a place of pleasure. It's dude, I'm calling it right now. I'm calling it right now. This is a 100%
Hell yeah.
BDSM. Put on your black leather, get your fucking horsewhip out, and smack me across the asshole with it. This is a sex beer. 100%. Excellent. I don't
nice.
I don't know who the sniper madam is out there who can actually snap me in specifically my asshole with the horsewhip.
She is good at that, right?
I want to meet her. And I just for the record, publicly want to do a shout out to Jay, who took that sex beer track that you play and upgraded it. And I'm going to call it an upgrade. Not that there's anything wrong with it now, but it's a so in future shows you may be hearing a little bit different version of that. And thank you, Jay, for taking the time and actually giving a shit to make that for us. We will use it. Sorry it took me so long to even find your message on X. I'm not good at responding on X. It's much better to just, be on the group chat, on the Whiskey Hell Insiders chat. That I see much more often. But anyway, so there it is. This is a total sex beer. What's crazy about this, McShane, is, on the front you get the sweetness. It's almost like a Nutter Butter, like a peanut butter with crackers on the outside, kind of Nutter Butter.
Yep.
On the front end, and then on the back end, it's just like a fucking 4-alarm fire. Like oh shit, what did I just put in my body? I have no idea what my bathroom situation will look like tomorrow, but this is gonna be a thing, and I'm very happy that I'm consuming this beer. It's been a while since I had a sex beer, and this one's definitely one.
Well, I'm glad that you finally had one. That was a really long dry spell, but that's also really says a lot about how much effort you put into making sure that this is a sex beer that you're actually having. So good on you for waiting and having a high standard and making sure that this was actually the one. So my question for you at this point is would this beer give you enough propulsion to get you up into the atmosphere for a spacewalk like SpaceX has this week?
I mean, I'll let you know tomorrow, because I probably won't know the full explosiveness of potential of this beer until tomorrow. But yeah, fucking SpaceX sent a guy, just a random guy, like a billionaire. He's a billionaire. But he's just like a normal dude. And he went up there and he fucking did a spacewalk. He did a spacewalk. He went out and let's okay. First of all, let's get to the spacewalk, but then we need to talk about his fucking suit. The motorcycle leather, smaller than a motorcycle helmet. Do you remember the old NASA suits, dude? The ones back from the 60s, 70s, 80s? Like those things were like, you were like the Michelin Man, and you just were kind of like bouncing around out there. The gloves were like what you would need to survive in 70 below temperatures for 24 hours at a time.
Right.
You couldn't feel anything, you couldn't grab anything, you couldn't do anything, but you were surviving, so you were okay. And now this thing looks like, literally, if he took off the helmet, he could wear that suit to a fucking rave later. Like, there's not much to it.
I really enjoyed this because, and I'm gonna be in the camp of I'm gonna be in the camp that it's actually happened.
Same.
Because there's going to be some folks out there that are like, this is absolute bullshit. Who could wear something, an outfit that's sheer? But I think you actually bring up a really good point, though. This isn't for let's go ahead and walk. Let's go spacewalk and like do work. Okay, let's not make sure that we've got a breathing apparatus. He's tethered in. He's got a breathing apparatus that's on a tether. He doesn't need to go, 20, 30 feet, whatever outside of the craft.
Right.
This is just to get out there and be, weightless and be in fucking space. I enjoyed this. This gave me a lot of hope. But this also says, hey, NASA's not doing it right. I don't know, especially when you look at some of the video from SpaceX, the video is very grainy. A lot of people would say, well, the video,
but
that
it's
looks
real.
fake and stuff, but it looks
but
real.
it's real.
It looks real. It doesn't look like it's from the IMAX. It doesn't look like we've got an IMAX camera on it. It doesn't look like we've got an HD 8K camera on this. And maybe, I don't know, maybe SpaceX should have done better in that respect. Okay, fine. But I totally buy this.
Yeah,
I don't have any problem with this.
I'm almost with what we know about AI and AI video capabilities, today. My brain is more willing to accept this as reality because it's like he just threw a GoPro on his fucking helmet and went for it. I'm more willing to accept that than I am the super highly produced,
correct,
highly, back regulated and back sort of disseminated IMAX stuff. That's like, when they got a weird glare on the camera, they edit that out. When they got a weird, when an anomaly happened in their data feed, they edit that out. This is like all the mistakes are there, all the shit.
It's awkward.
It's awkward. It's not a great view. In fact, the Earth is bright enough to the camera that you can't even see the stars behind it, which a lot of people brought up is like, no, there's proof there's no stars back there. Yeah, it's because that's how cameras work. Pick up your iPhone and shine a light into it. It's only going to pick up the light. It's not going to pick up anything behind it, period. Especially if you're in a dark fucking vacuum of a room. That's what happens. So I'm with you. I tend to find this very genuine, very real. I would like flat earthers to come back and tell us where this is. I mean, even up to and including the fucking spots all over his helmet glass. You can tell the difference between a video game when you're playing that or an AI and actual, like, that's just real shit just on his face shield that accumulates when you're wearing something. And this graphic is fucking nuts. They're going 25,000 miles, 25,700 miles. And like, how high was he?
737 kilometers.
700, yeah. 700 and some kilometers above the Earth. So it's just the numbers are mind blowing. And it's like one of those things where, I mean, if you've never done that, if you've never been that high, if you've never gone that fast, you don't even, I mean, what's your frame of reference for that? Like, I've gone like 600 miles an hour in an airplane before, in a jet, and I didn't feel it. What does that feel like when you're up there going 25,000, almost 26,000 miles an hour? in weightlessness. What what is that? Just crazy shit. That the concept of it is wild. I will tell you that, I mean, if space travel and space walking and space, I guess, destination is like our everyday regular thing, I don't care if I'm fucking 80 when it happens. I'm going. I want to go up there. I want that experience. I want to see what these people have seen. I want to experience that. I want to experience weightlessness. I want to know what it's like to look down on the earth and go, wow, we are so tiny and we are so insignificant. Look at that beautiful thing. I'm all for it. I'm all about it.
All right, so let's go ahead and go to Russia and Ukraine. So let's go ahead and play Trudeau's little spout this week.
His prompt reading.
Yes, his prompt reading.
And that's why Canada and others are unequivocal that Ukraine must win this war against Russia. And we will continue to be there to support Ukraine. And yes, Canada fully supports Ukraine using long-range weaponry to prevent and interdict Russia's continued ability to degrade Ukrainian civilian infrastructure and mostly to kill innocent civilians in their unjust war. Okay. And that's why.
All right, so Trudeau obviously has a massive problem here because his communism is absolutely showing. And I don't know what to do with.
You mean his dad's side? Sorry.
Oh, are we? Oh,
sorry. Go ahead.
Oh,
go ahead.
I
just had to throw
he's
that in
Castro's kid now because that's very
fucking
very
looks
accurate.
like it. Yeah,
well,
definitely looks like it.
Absolutely looks at it. So when I hear stuff like what Justin Trudeau is saying, and when we're talking about the whole World War III aspects of what's going on, having Trudeau come out and be this much of a hard line, it has to make you wonder because of how much Canada has been so hardlined, taking away guns, freedom of speech, tax the hell out of your citizens, making sure that it's a communist nation at this point.
Yeah.
And the fact that he's coming down this hard on another communist nation, you have to be suspect. Russia hasn't had... Don't make me a Russian sympathizer. That's not the point. I'm trying to look at this objectively. Russia... NATO's been on their doorstep. They've been in their fucking house. They've been inside their house. I mean, it's been absolute intrusion at this point. The fact that we're at the point where we're able to see that the UK, that the US is on the edge of going ahead and condoning the use of missiles deep inside Russia, this has to be concerning. And it has to make you wonder, who are the communists at this point?
Yeah, I think, you know what, it just kind of hit me. We've been talking about since 2016, the lesser of two evils. Do you vote Hillary Clinton, the evilest woman on the planet, or do you vote Trump, who, at the time was representing just basically idiocy and this, blue collar, hey, I'm going to call him like I see him kind of attitude. And, it's been that way in our own elections, like lesser of two evils. Well, if the whole world is communist, basically, at this point, we're definitely heading in that direction. Canada's definitely communist. You can't call them that officially, but as you said, all the markers are there. And then Russia is communist, and they admit that, and they're up front with it. I'm going to take the guy that says, yeah, I'm doing this, but I'm doing it for the good of my people, over this fuckstick, Trudeau, who's like, no, we are anything but communists. And yet all of your actions, all of your words, all of the things that you want to do to other countries, those are all communist acts, you asshole. So yeah, lesser of two evils. I mean, I'm with you. I would rather support a dictator like Putin, who is as a dictator he's iron fisted. You know what you can and can't do, but he's also fair as long as you stay within his rules. He's not like a Kim Jong-il or any of the North Korean idiots who just, are literally running their countries into the ground. Russia's prospering. And the problem with that comes, when Putin dies, then what? Who's the next asshole that could come up? But for now, Trudeau or Putin, of course. And the other thing is, Putin has always been upfront with, listen, we didn't start this war. There were treaties signed that you wouldn't cross this line, and you crossed it, and then you wouldn't cross this line, and you crossed that one too. And so, yeah, of course we're going to defend ourselves, just like we did back in the Cuban Missile Crisis. We said, do not send nuclear weapons to Cuba, 90 miles off the coast of the United States. We will have to react. What's the difference? What is the difference? I still have yet to hear one liberal, one blue hair.
It won't
explain to me what the difference is. There isn't one.
They won't, especially when you've got Dick Cheney coming out for Kamala.
Yeah.
You have
Warhawk.
McCain's kid coming out for Kamala.
Yep.
Let's see here. George W.
Warhawk
for Kamala. The Obama.
Warhawk. So what do you think with all these Warhawks supporting Kamala Mala Ding Dong? They're supporting her. What do you think is going to happen if she wins? I'm sorry. I'm going to phrase that differently. What do you think is going to happen when she's in office? Because there's no possible chance she can win fairly, but she will be in office, I believe. So what do you think is going to happen? Do you think things are going to calm down around the globe, or do you think we're going to be fully in World War III? Because all the Warhawks are going to that side of the column.
Fitz, so this is I think a lot of listeners out there who are probably following the train of thought for the night. Fitz, when I think about what we've got going on right now, we've got an election. We've got narratives. We've got everything that's happened in the Ukraine. We've got we haven't even talked about Israel tonight. We're not going to get into it, but
no,
we've got that going on too. We can't ignore the World War III narrative at this point, right? I mean, you got to think about this. That are we at a point where you've got all these war hawks in Kamala's corner, which you have to have a degree of concern if that's what's happening. Are we at a point where we're willing to go ahead and sacrifice 45, 65 million people for to keep the Democrats in power for, well, at this point it would be many, many, many years, because you can suspend elections. We already saw that happen in Ukraine. Don't know why that wouldn't happen here.
Oh yeah, it absolutely is an option.
It absolutely is an option. And we're seriously talking about World War III type stuff here. Canada, like you pointed out last night in our chat, in the whiskey in your and my chat, Canada's not far off from Russia. They're within missile distance.
Oh yeah.
This is some escalated shit, and everybody's worried about fucking Taylor Swift.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. They really have. They're really holding all the cards, and they're playing them like they drew the perfect hand in Uno. They're doing the reverse, the draw two, another reverse.
They're doing anything they possibly can to keep power.
And it feels desperate, but at the same time, their desperation is actually working, because we don't. First of all, too many people out there aren't aware, so they're being led by the nose. So we can't do anything to help those people.
Well, they don't want to reason through it, right? They don't want to reason through it.
Well, that's too much work. It's too much work. But then the rest of us who are awake and aware, and we're seeing these things happening, we can't do anything about it either because we're not in power, A, or at least not in enough power, and B, there's I shouldn't have said power. I should have said money. There's too much money involved. Too much money to pay too many people off. You can't stop it. It's going to happen. We're headed towards another war, another world war, and I don't see how that stops. Postponed, maybe, but if the powers that be want this to happen, it's going to happen. And I think one of the big steps that we're taking right now is approving these long-range weapons that can hit Moscow or even deeper into Russia, which, I mean, Moscow has to be the main target, right? I mean, and if they start hitting Moscow with long-range missiles, just bet your left sock that Putin's going to come out swinging, and it's not going to be pretty. He's not going to use ballistic missiles, I'll tell you that. He's going to use the big ones.
Keir Starmer, United Kingdom Prime Minister, to urge Biden to allow Ukraine's use of long-range missiles inside Russia. The DoD decided, hey, you know what we should do? Services for modeling the effects of nuclear weapons on agriculture systems. This happened just this week, September 12th.
Just this week. Yep.
Weird timing, right?
Yeah.
Let's just go and drop it out there. I mean, this happens one of two ways, right? One, it's either supporting the narrative or it's starting a new narrative, right? This is what we look at, right?
Yep.
It's one of those two things. So this is a massive concern. It is a massive concern. You also have Poland. Poland is tired of screwing around. I urge Kiev to find a solution to the Volyn tragedy as soon as possible. Otherwise, Poland will take tough measures against Ukraine. I don't recall saying this or not, but NATO needs to go away. NATO is broken. It needs to go away. It's defunct. It was perverted long ago. It's no longer satisfying any kind of unity. It's absolutely tainted. It needs to go away. And this is a country that we talked about last week and how they're treating their borders. They have troops on their borders, making sure that nobody's going to come in. They want no immigration. Everybody stay the fuck out. They're willing to use, if not rubber bullets, live ammo. We've seen footage of them pepper spraying to make sure nobody's going to get near their barbed wire fences. They've built their fences. If Poland says, you know what, we're done with NATO, that's a pretty big link in the armor.
Well, and let's not forget, I mean, World War II kicked off when Germany invaded Poland. So they've been down this road. They don't want to play this
put up with it
anymore. No, they're not going to be the middle child of a world war again. They're coming out and saying absolutely not. Figure this the fuck out, or there will be consequences. And there's been a lot of posturing, and again, the money has the means to make us look one direction and keep us very preoccupied with whatever they want, right? Taylor Swift, Travis Kelce, whatever, you fill in the blank. Dumb shit sports, college sports. I can't believe that the Oregon Ducks, the big talk in this town is that they can't believe the Oregon Ducks switched conferences. Like, who fucking cares? It's football. But so they have the money to like keep us all distracted and keep you looking the other way. But don't doubt. I mean, this story by Poland, this one went way under the radar this week. We caught it, but nobody was covering this. Don't believe for a second that the other European countries and hell, other countries around the world aren't aligning themselves politically. There are phone calls being made right now to help align different countries with different sides of this thing. And the history is going to be written by the winner. So
Oh, it always is.
We don't we don't know if we're on the good side or the bad side of this thing until it's over, and then we get to say, well, we were the good guys, obviously, because we won. It's an interesting time. We said this before. Interesting time to be alive. I think what's more interesting about this time to be alive is that we get to watch it real time, and we also get to get, basically every point of view simultaneously. So, I mean, back in the day, it was just, newsreels and the newspaper that told you what to think. Now we get the newsreel and the newspaper, but we also get the 5 million opinions about each of those things, and different people coming in with different, lots of different facts and proofs and theories. And so we're watching this real time. And I think if you aren't somebody who is able to find some sort of neutrality, and what I mean by that is not being swayed by, it's got to be right, it's got to be left. You can actually find neutrality in your life, and you can be like, hey, that sounds plausible, but oh, nope, it's a lie. I'm going to go back over here. And just because it's a right-winged conservative point of view doesn't mean I have to believe in it. Then you're a thinking person, and you're someone who can navigate this time. I really feel sorry for the people who are, true blues or always vote red. I feel sorry for them, because you're going to miss out. You're going to miss out because history's in the making, and history's not going to give a shit if you're a Democrat or Republican. History's only going to care if you survive it. And that's really where we're at here. We're on that precipice of, like, big decisions are being made, and they don't care about us. They only care about themselves, and the rest of us we're on our own.
It's almost 4D chess, though, right? I mean, it's not even about left and right.
Totally
Everybody wants to get sucked into this left-right bullshit. It's left and right is a figment of it's a man-made fallacy, right? They want you on the left, they want you on the right. But if you step back, like we were talking about earlier, if you're looking at things from, as the Matrix is, if you're stepping back and you're just like, okay, so now I see what the left's doing, I see what the right's doing, and now I'm looking for the actual truth that's always within the middle. Now I can kind of see that, okay, this is all bullshit. You like going back to the reels, right? That were during World War II. You go to the movie theater, you watch these reels, and everybody wanted to go and buy war bonds after they saw Pearl Harbor.
Or go volunteer for the war. Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, what was that? That was propaganda. Now you've got, if you're looking at today, if you look at the mainstream media, there's your propaganda. If you 100%. Step back and you look at the propaganda, which there's always going to be a little bit of truth in the propaganda. If you look at what's happening in other places, and you're like, oh, well, I can take the propaganda and then I take what's actually happening, and now you start to formulate, well, now I can see the truth. Yeah. You have to want to get to that level. You have to want to back out and realize that it doesn't matter if you're on the right, you're on the left, you're conservative, you're public, you're liberal, you're a conservative, you're a Republican, all that shit doesn't matter. As soon as you pull yourself back and go, you know what, I'm not any of you. That's when you start to get to the point where, like, I can actually make an informed decision. And that's what they don't want you to be. They want you to be zeroed in on what Taylor Swift says. What does The View say? What does John Legend say this week on the frying up of cats? That's what they want you to target. And unless you step back and unless you start actually seeing that this is not where we are, in the big picture, all that stuff is bullshit. And now we're sitting actually on the doorstep of World War III. That's the stuff that actually matters.
Like people are going to die. I mean, it's not
because of money laundering.
Like it's, and like, it's not, if actual World War III kicks off, we're not talking about, 100 people, 1,000 people, 1 million people. We're talking about millions, hundreds of millions, possibly 1 billion people, and And again, if that happens, like the WEF is getting exactly what they wanted. What do they say? They wanted, 2 billion gone by 2035 and then another 2 billion gone by 2040.
It makes you wonder.
I mean, fuck me. 2
Well,
billion
in 2025, they want 65 million Americans gone. That's what the that's the story.
So
how do you do that?
So, right. And so if that's the absurdity when you're in these discussions on X, and these people immediately align themselves with one side or the other. I think you're both fucking morons. You are missing the point. This is a battle for our humanity, not for what your beliefs are. Without humanity, there's no beliefs anymore. I mean,
dogs fuck your beliefs. We're done.
Dogs are very smart. We all love dogs. Dogs enrich our lives. Dogs are amazing creatures, but they're not Republican or Democrats. They're just fucking dogs, and they're in it. If you're in the pack, then the whole pack is there for your survival. Dogs have it figured out. Wolves. They're way better than we are, because we all sacrifice for the greater good. Even bees have it figured out better than we do. You do what you need to do for the success of the colony. But we're over here going, well, God damn it, I want women's rights. So you're an asshole.
I want tampons in the boys' room.
Yeah. Or you know what?
Don't drive over my rainbow flag in the middle of the road.
Yeah. Or on the flip side of it, I want to be able to wage war against anyone, anytime, wherever I want. That's also not okay.
It's really not.
We got to be in it for the human race, dude. And right now, the people who have money, the people who are in power, they don't give a shit about the human race. They only care about themselves. And I guess that's my point. And that's our point for the show tonight, is like, with all this stuff going on, I mean, stop being political and start being a thinking person.
Human?
And realizing, start being a human. Exactly.
Congratulations on beating Zero Hedge by about 4 months, Fitz.
Okay.
Really good job there.
Yeah.
The sun is doing something that it's never supposed to do, and that could mean big trouble in the months ahead. I guess for Zero Hedge, and I do enjoy Zero Hedge. I think they're valuable. I think as far as information goes, I think they do a nice job. This isn't a revelation. The sun's been off its fucking rocker, and this week you even talked about it. The sun is doing some stuff again. It's pretty angry. It's pretty bitchy, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it's popping off, and what compounds that, and again, going back to the climate change narrative, what compounds that is the real reason that we are seeing we're not seeing the world heat up, but we're definitely seeing some extreme weather and some extreme weather events, is because the Earth's magnetic field is weakening. So things that the sun is doing that normally wouldn't have affected us that much, it would have been just a low level annoyance. Now these things are really compounding because we don't have our force field, which is a real thing. Our force field is weakening. It's if you're a Trekkie, you'll understand that force fields are at like 40%. We can't take another hit to the forward deflector shield, because if we do, I mean, to say that the power is going to go out and that's the end of the sentence, that causes a cascade of a lot of deaths. And so today the sun popped off. This morning, first thing I woke up and I saw it. First app I open is the Carrington app, which is a fabulous app. I mean, if you're interested in this shit and you science out with it, geek out with it like I do, it's an amazing app. It's beautiful. It gives you all the information you could ever want. But first thing I do is open that thing up just to see if there were any flares, because it shows you a satellite view of the sun over the last 24 hours. Well, there was a huge X 4.5, which is big, and it's concerning, but it went off lower left of the sun comparative to Earth, and most of it, 98% of the energy of it, is flying off into space and is not going to touch us. But even that 2% has a chance to give us a pretty good geomagnetic storm tomorrow night into Monday morning. And so, like you said, McShane, like just fucking end it already. Like if we would have taken that shot, that 4.5, X 4.5 is a direct shot, we would not be having this conversation right now. Like you would have candles on in your house and be figuring out how to get fresh water because running water is not a thing anymore. But it aimed off into some other direction and we're safe. We're relatively safe. But yeah, we have some big shit going on out there and it's fascinating and fun to watch, but it's also a real threat. Interestingly, I had no idea Brett Weinstein, who's been a frequent guest on Joe Rogan, and he's a kind of a preeminent thinker in his own area of, I believe he's a doctor. I believe he's a medical doctor, but I don't know what his actual training is. Smart guy, brilliant guy. I had no idea, but he's actually very concerned about space weather. The incoming neutrinos that we absorb every day from just space in general, but also specifically from the sun. He said that's a very real threat that nobody knows about, that no one sees coming, and then bam, the lights go out and here we are. So anyway, it was a beautiful flare. If you haven't been following solar dynamics, go watch the one that went off today. It's kind of a masterclass in how much energy is really released from the sun. Ben Davidson did a little post, a quick little video on YouTube and posted it to X, and just kind of walks you through it. But it's the Earth compared to that size of a CME, it would have vaporized us if we were too close. It's amazing, beautiful, but terrifying.
Hey, Lincoln was gay. Hey, did you see this?
This might have been the most at the same time, this story was absurd and ridiculous and hilarious, but also, who fucking cares? Even if he was, that might be a revelation to some people, but to other people, to most of us, we're like, who gives a shit if he was? Who cares? He had a wife. He had a kid.
So the most fun that I have for a lot of this, what we do is watching the narratives, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you have a time doc, how the documentary Lover of Men makes the case that Abraham Lincoln was gay. Now look at the timing of the story. Okay. We're at a very tumultuous time for democracy. You have the left wing really trying to get rid of the Constitution. They want to throw it out. You were in an election cycle. So what better time to go ahead and release Lincoln is gay than right now? And we've got a movie, Fitz, an hour and 51 minutes of proof that Lincoln is the lover of men. And they've got this Ziggy Stardust red lightning bolt on his head.
Yeah.
Who buys this shit?
I don't know.
Why does it matter?
It doesn't. That's the thing, is like, if you met Abraham Lincoln out on a fucking battlefield, it was back in the fucking 1600s.
Yeah.
And you both had claymores. Would you have been like, whoa, hold on, before we start this?
Hey, do you like it in the butt?
Do you like dudes? And he was like, yes. And you'd be like, okay, okay.
All right, cool.
I can't fight
cool,
you.
bro.
Yeah,
it's fine.
I can't fight you. You're too ninny. I can't do it. No.
Or
was
hey,
like,
you know what? I like dudes too. You like dudes.
Yeah.
We like dudes. Cool. Let's go have meat or whatever the whiskey or whatever it is. Let's go chill. It's freaking great. This is Time Magazine. This is a magazine, Fitz, that used to bring
the best.
Everybody, the absolute best of Americana. Yeah. It used to bring everybody the story. Time's Man of the Year was epic. Times Woman of the Year was majestic. It fucking mattered. Hey, guys, know what?
I
just
absurd. How
want
absurd.
a fucking solar flare to take us all out. That's all I want.
I know.
It's perfectly
Me
fine.
too. Me too. So the one that popped off this morning, it's now, it's turning in. It wasn't turning away. It's turning in. So the magnetic complexity of that thing is wild. I've not seen one quite that complex in a long time. We kind of have our alpha, our beta, and then you can go all the way to like, your zeta, the Z complexity, which is, really the most complex. It's Z and on like 2 different levels. It's really super complex. So it could absolutely end things tomorrow. I'm just saying it has the potential to fire off a major CME. And I hope all of you are with loved ones if that happens. Cause it's definitely a high concern.
Sound like you're talking about me.
Hey,
could fire off at any time and
fire off, dude, and very complex, but also could end you.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Definitely. We're gonna call that sunspot the Jefe.
Wow. I feel. Should I give a speech or no? I'll just let it go.
I think what you should do is come in with the farm report. That's what I think.
I guess I could do that. So I think the ladies in our group here, Buttercup, Elle, Tabby, even your guys' wives, I think it's safe to say that they could, and they are always looking, to upgrade. They're always looking
Absolutely.
for something better.
They should.
I mean?
They should always look for something better.
They better be.
Lisa, Elle, Buttercup, Di. Who else? Everybody. Moxie.
Well, Mike,
you guys should totally.
Mike is now identifying as female, so he also falls in that category.
Oh, that's right, Mike. All of you guys should upgrade. Absolutely. I'm not going to upgrade. I'm fucking here.
100%.
That is so fucking hot.
Classy.
Well, if that next best thing happens to be a farmer, I'm going to tell you, this is how you survive harvest while you're dating a farmer. How you doing? Good.
So for everybody who's just chiming in or just joining us, Jefe is actually at work right now, and he's on the loading dock, and people come by and they talk to him randomly. So,
regardless of what he's talking about.
Right. Right. All right. Well, you got to remember, first off, ladies or guys, this ain't no 9-to-5 job. Okay. This is a farmer during harvest, and that's harvest with a capital H, by the way.
Oh yeah.
Here's some helpful tips. All right. Are you thinking about making some date night plans? Well, don't. Whether it's a double date or even something as big as a wedding, don't assume your farmer is going to be available. Okay. It's good. Here's another one. It's good to know the fields and the names of the fields before the harvest, because you don't want to be asking questions and you don't want to be lost if he's having a conversation about, this field or that field. You want to be able to participate and not be a nuisance. Also, maybe don't comment on your farmer's hygiene. He's busy, if he's putting on dirty clothes or his hair is all unkempt, you got to let that shit go. It's best to ignore that. Also steer clear of, what's that?
Well, I was just going to ask you, so what about the dirty musk? Like, he's been in the field for like hours upon hours.
Mm-hmm.
And he just has that rich.
You're supposed to love it.
He just embraces. He's like, it's sweat and dirt and earth, and he's just covered in it, and it's just the epitome of masculinity. That's okay, right?
Oh,
Okay.
I think.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I mean, yeah, it has to be. And you want to steer clear of commenting or I guess critiquing the neighbors' farms and comparing them to his, because this is just going to add unwanted stress to him. And lastly, make good food for your farmer, not fancy sloppy food, because he's going to want to eat while he's working. And if he doesn't tell you how the crop is looking, don't ask about it, because it's probably not great news.
Ooh,
and that
good
is your
advice.
farm report.
Yes.
Big shout out to Buttercup for
Clutch.
supplying that one.
Dude,
Clutch.
that was
very much
that
clutch.
was clutch. Yeah, that was huge.
Hey, I have a confession. I'm a huge fan of biscuits and gravy. I love biscuits and gravy. Like it has to be like on point. Huge fan. Huge fan. And whenever I think of the farm earth and really getting into, I'm thinking like comfort food is like biscuits, gravy, sausages.
Yep.
Oh yeah. That's the stuff.
Yeah, I think if you're gonna have a sit down meal, that's okay. But if he's gonna be out in the fields and stuff like that, you want to bring him a plate of that. Whataburger has a pretty good biscuits and gravy. Just a shout out to Whataburger there.
We don't have Whataburger in this town.
Oh.
No, we don't. We used to, apparently, before I got here. It's gone now. There was actually Planktown, one of my favorite breweries here. They used to have a very, very good, like it was voted best in town biscuits and gravy, and then then we got a new chef, and so now it's on no one's radar anymore. But it used to be fucking fantastic.
It's just in town.
Yeah, right.
I've been to Planktown. That's a fantastic brewery, but that's bullshit.
Yeah.
God damn. All right.
I could go for some biscuits and gravy right now.
Could you? We should go out for some. We should go to
Whataburger.
Whataburger probably. Hey, I want to get your guys' take on a technique. Can I do that?
Yeah.
Oh, a technique? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Hold on. I got you.
You off with a finger blast. Wife's at home and she plays for keeps. It ain't cheating till you knuckle deep. Use my index, I can use my thumb, even use my pinky, it'll make you come. Close your eyes, it'll happen real fast. I just got you off with a finger blast. You ain't gotta worry about raising my kids. 'Cause girl, my fingers, hell they ain't making no jizz. Trust me, babe, you'll feel good. 'Cause all my fingers, they're hard as wood. Please, girl, don't squeeze too tight. Lose my ring, I might lose my wife. And if she gets mad, she'll hand me my ass. No one needs to know about that finger blast. best man, 'cause girls want dick and I got 10. Words got out, now I'm in demand. Walking around with dildo hands. Don't use my dick, that's a thing of the past. 'Cause all the ladies want is a finger blast. Finger blast. Finger blast. Finger blast. Finger blast. Finger blast.
All right, boys. Finger blasting. Where are you on the measure?
Is it a universal thing to go with middle finger?
I never lead with the middle finger. I'm always at least 2 deep. I go to 2 and then I go at least and then probably to 3. And then a thumb.
Fitz and I. Oh. Well.
So it's
Not fucking around then.
no,
Like,
because
or literally.
I mean, for me, I go with okay. So just full disclosure, I go with the bowling grip. It's 2,
Okay.
and
All right.
then a thumb, and
Oh.
someplace else,
Oh, okay. Okay.
and then 3 or
I mean,
4, depending on where we are in the night. But yeah,
well,
And-
depending on who she is.
Right.
I mean, I've okay, like, I guess we're just gonna talk about technique here. I mean, I'm with you, Hefe. I was always a middle finger first. If she wanted to, then we can make that happen also. And when we went to 2, when we got to that stage, McShane, I'm with you. It was middle finger and ring finger, and then thumb sort of grips the the bean, and we play with that. Where I really started to, I guess, sort of make things fun and interesting is you do the finger, however many that she likes, but then also get your your mouth involved.
Hmm.
And
Yes,
and
but
that
that's where you reverse the grip, right?
Right. Well, yeah, you have to just physically, otherwise you get that cramp in the forearm.
Right.
But I mean, I don't know if that's technically finger blasting anymore. That's more of like
I think it's
finger
still finger
accentuating. Well, okay.
I think it is.
Well,
I think it is.
either way,
I'll give it. Yeah, I would give it finger blasting.
I mean, I have been told. I don't
Tabby
know this.
Tabby says it counts.
But I've been told I have very strong hands, so that comes out in the in the act. It as you go through it, if you have like weak little, hot dog fingers, the woman's gonna know. But if you're, you got some strength in there, so it's always been like one of my go-tos. Particularly if I've been drinking too much and I can't, make things happen for myself. We can still get. Let her have some fun. So
Get down to
yeah,
business for her. Yeah, exactly.
I'm a
That's
finger
what-
blaster
that's what
for
matters.
sure. Yeah.
All right, I love it. I love it. Hefe, what were your thoughts on finger blasting?
It's a good appetizer. It's a good warm up. I use the forefinger and the middle finger, I think.
Oh,
Okay.
you're a
There's
bookworm.
more control.
So everybody,
That's
go
called-
ahead and put your hands up in front of your face, and forefinger, middle finger, right?
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
Yeah,
I got it right in
that's
front
called
of me.
that's called the bookworm. I don't know if you knew that, but like
bookworm.
thumbing through a book. Yeah, the bookworm. Go ahead.
Justin's with you. Justin's right on track with you. All right. Good.
Cool.
Good. Go ahead, Hefe. Continue.
Oh, well, like I said, well, I mean, you start, higher up the clitoris area, and you kind of work down, a little moisture going. This is getting really graphic, but then you
Well,
kind of
you're
insert
finger deep now.
knee deep. the insertion, and then I just got the 2 fingers going, and then while the 2 fingers are in there, then the thumb can be up there, continuing what they started up top there.
Yeah.
Beard says he uses whatever is needed to get the job done.
Oh yeah, you got to be flexible on this because
sure.
I've been with enough women. I mean, there's some that like it one way and some that like another way, and like that should be like the feedback communication between partners. Like, okay, I like this, I don't like that. Like, communicate, ladies. Help us out here because we don't know. We got 5 fingers. We don't know which ones you like, which ones you don't. I got a tongue I can throw in there, but if you don't like that, we don't have to do that either.
I mean, because if
Just
you
talk
think
to us.
about it, though, because we have, we have 2 hands. I have 2 hands, and I've got 10 fingers, and I can do a lot with these fingers, and they can be fists if I need to go fists, and I got a tongue too. I got so much to go. I can do a
Christopher
lot,
Walken. Ladies and
I
gentlemen,
got
Christopher
so
Walken.
much to help to make you happy.
I got my broken pinky. Those can be very
Oh, dude, yeah.
Broken
Yes.
for her pleasure. Is that what that is?
something like that. Yeah.
Dude,
So-
I had. Do you guys, my scar on my left shoulder where I got stabbed when I was in the military?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Well, you're just talking about injuries, Hefe. I had a partner at one time. She liked to lick that while she was on top of me.
I gotta go.
That got her off.
See you guys.
Hefe, have a good night, dude. And
What
he's
if
gone.
you're double
Just
jointed?
Like a
My
fucking
thumbs are
fart in
double
the wind.
jointed. What do I get to do with that?
Whatever you want.
just saying.
Whatever she wants.
All right. Fitz, what beer are you taking to bed with you?
Oh God. Most definitely the Hubbard's Cave, the El Zacaton. Fantastic fucking beer, dude. The chilies, sometimes brewers can get a little bit ridiculous with any one ingredient, and then it just kind of ruins the beer. Chilies is one of those things that I like the heat, so yes, it can be overdone, but in this beer they added like just enough heat. It's fucking spicy as hell, and I do not know what my bathroom situation is going to be like tomorrow, but for tonight, a fantastic balance of sweet and hot.
So that's what I'm curious about. So, all right. So you obviously grew up in Arizona, so you understand Mexican cooking.
Oh, I know hot. Yeah,
and you know
yes.
Spanish cooking too. And then so all right. So you've had mole cooking, right? Which
Oh,
is
I love
basically chocolate and spice, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. So walk me through this piece. It's an imperial stout, which naturally is going to have a little bit of sweet, some barrel, some booze, and in your case, it's going to have some heat to it. Was this straight up flamethrower imperial stout, or was it a subtle, spicy stout that ended on the mole side?
No, it's somewhere in between those two. You got the sweet, the chocolate up front, and then at the end, it was an absolute flamethrower.
Wow,
like as it's going down, I'm telling you, I'm almost finished with this beer, and it still feels like I'm taking a shot of whiskey every time. And it's not liquor heat. It's chile heat. And really just the kind of heat. Okay. And there's different kinds of heat. For those of you who aren't familiar with really super hot jalapeno peppers, the ghost pepper, the reason it's called that is because you chew it, you eat it, and you swallow it, and then like 30 seconds later, it's kicking your ass everywhere it touched, right? Your tongue, your mouth, your gullet, your stomach. It's beating the shit out of you. Then there's other ones that as soon as you put them in your mouth, whoa, like right on the tip of your tongue, you're feeling the heat. This one is only on the back end. It's only in my throat. On the front end, it's just chocolate. It's just sweet. It's just a little bit of cinnamon, which is nice. I like that hint of cinnamon. But it's when you swallow, then you're like, oh shit,
there's the burn.
There's the burn. There's some heat in there. So really unique beer. I kind of wish I would have bought a couple of them because I'd like to have this one like first thing. Because I had that Dunkel to start the night, and I'm wondering how much that's kind of sort of changing the flavor notes on this one on the back end. So I'd like to have it again. I may go back and see if I can find it, but either way, fantastic beer, total sex beer, unbelievable. What about you? Which one are you taking to bed?
Oh man, this one was tough because I'm a sucker for imperial stouts. We all know this, right? That's my MO.
Mm-hmm.
But the Bière de Garde, this Cuvée de Jonquille, I need to fucking figure out that. Oh my God, my French is absolutely terrible. The French farmhouse ale was just fantastic. It was so good. I'm sure this is like a $30-$40 beer at least.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to go out and buy more of these, but this was pleasant. On a summer day, I can get a seriously good buzz, and it's not going to be obtrusive. It's a quenching beer. I really, really like this beer. I loved the other one, Chasing Darkness by Timber Ales, was really, really good. But I really like the rare beer find. I'm taking that one to bed.
Nice.
That is going to wind things up. We appreciate you guys listening. If you guys want to follow us on X, it is whiskey_hell. Whiskey Hell Pod on TikTok, on Instagram. WhiskeyHellPod.com is the website. You guys should go check us out there. Thank you to Beer to Liberty, Buttercup, Catatouille. That's Aaron, Feline. Okay, wait. Feline.
Oh my Feline.
God, Fitz. Feline. Jesus. Mignon. Lisa. Justin, L. Tabby, Mike. Thank you for joining us late. Brad and Di for joining us this evening as we were making the rounds. We appreciate you listening. I'm Steve McShane.
I'm Fitz.
Think critically.
Act accordingly.
We'll talk to you soon.